give us a summary of how Bowen affects the different systems?
Sure can. It's taken me years of study, and there is a book, a lot of books, but my main book and resource is called Vibrational Medicine by Richard Gerber. And I feel like I know Richard Gerber. He passed away a few years ago at the tender age of, I think, 54. And he's a medical doctor, and he wrote the book Vibrational Medicine, and he researched all the alternative medical things like chakras and nadis and meridian points, and distance healing and aromatherapy, gem elixirs, and all that stuff. And I gleaned a lot of information from this book because a practitioner told me about it. And my patients kept coming back, not only saying that it changed their life or you wouldn't believe it would happen, but when they told me about what I wouldn't believe would happen, they'd say, I got itching and tingling, or I got burning, or I got a headache, or I da 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 da. And all of a sudden I was, why is that happening when I'm just flicking the muscles? And so after my studies, and I'm still learning, but I think when you do the move, there's about 4 or 5 things that happen. Number one, you're touching, and there's touch receptors. Then you're pressing in, and you're going to the pressure receptors. Then you're stretching the skin and the fascia, and you're giving some information, more information to the nervous system through the stretching. Then you're causing more pressure against the tissue before you roll it, and there's a vibration. And I think the sum total of all this send an impulse to the nervous system, like the knee jerk reaction, which causes the knee to jerk because the doctor hit your tendon and stretched it. That's what the hammer does. So when you make the move, similar signals are sent to the nervous system, and the muscles and the connective tissues soften and elongate and loosen. 95% of Bowen's moves are made over meridian points. I told you he studied acupuncture point, acupressure, and he had a book, and it automatically opened to the meridian chart. And so he made all of those moves, 95 to 97% of them, over meridian points, which are chock full of electrical current and microcurrent and biochemicals, endorphins. That's why people will feel sometimes a euphoria while you're working on them, or the runner's high the day after the day of the treatment, and also other biochemicals and hormones, amino acid. All of the building blocks for healing are stored in the meridian points. So it releases the muscles and tendons and the fascia, and it releases and energizes or sedates whichever the meridian point needs to be attended to. The body kind of does it automatically. And so in doing it changes the posture. It changes the pulling of the tendons and the fascia and relieves the pain and the tension, the endorphins help to relieve the stress and the tension and the strain and the bad quality of life. And is a so domino effect. It affects the nervous system, and the various parts of the nervous system. The central nervous system is affected by the dural fascia, and the coccyx and the sphenoid and the foramen magnum is the main points of attachment for the tube sock called the dural fascia, the spinal fascia, which affects the nerves as they're coming out the vertebra, going to your big toe and your feet. So it affects that fascia, and Tom Bowen mostly, which is not included in your class because I should have. I used to include the coccyx procedure, but I stopped because it was too much information and so on. But he always did the coccyx and the TMJ. Because the TMJ affects the sphenoid, and this coccyx is in the sphenoid controlling the dural fascia, the spinal fascia, to straighten out that tube sock that get twisted and kinked because the coccyx tilted or rotated or whatever. it's going to pull on the fascia a little bit there, or the TMJ and the sphenoid is out up here, it's going to pull on the tubes. So that affects the peripheral nerves. Also, the endorphin release, I think, it suppresses the adrenaline that's going on because you're under stress and your adrenal glands are going in overdrive, putting all this adrenaline. And so your sympathetic nervous system is hyperactive, and your parasympathetic, which is your regulating your heart and your digestion and all of the involuntary things, also in the rest and digest phase, they're kind of suppressed. So it brings about a balance to those two systems in addition. So it works in the central nervous system, it works on the meridian system, and opening and elongating the contracted soft tissues. It allows the meridian pathways, called ductules, to conduct the flow of the chi, electrical currents and chemicals, to where it needs to go and do what it's needed to do. Hence, people will come back and say, "You wouldn't believe what happened. My headaches went away, or my diarrhea is cleared up. My gallbladder doesn't hurt anymore." That's in a nutshell what bone can do.
Thank you.